A very good evening to all our viewers and welcome to this Sunday's edition of Primetime News, coming to you live from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. I'm Arundhati Mudannaika and let's start off with a look at the stories making headlines this evening.
President receives warm ceremonial welcome at airport in Vietnam. No campaigning allowed. Election Commission reminds candidates of silent period rules. Ballot boxes on the move. Distribution to polling stations to begin tomorrow. Lokupati brought back to Sri Lanka. Handed over to the Crimes Division, Western Province South Range. Will strike structures on Indus River in violation of the Indus Water Treaty. Pakistani ministers warning to India. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese wins second three-year term.
And now the stories in detail. President Anurukumar Dissanayake has begun a three-day official state visit to Vietnam following an invitation from Vietnamese President Luong Quoc. The visit will conclude on May 6th.
President Anurukumar Dissanayake departed Sri Lanka yesterday on a state visit to Vietnam at the invitation of Vietnamese President Luong Quoc. He arrived at the Noi Bai International Airport in Hanoi this morning. President Anurukumar Dissanayake and his delegation were accorded a warm welcome by senior Vietnamese officials, including member of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of Vietnam and Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs Nguyen Man Quong. Later in the day, the president met with the General Secretary of the Communist Party of Vietnam, To Lam, at the party's Central Committee headquarters in Hanoi. The two leaders held in-depth discussions on enhancing the 55-year diplomatic relationship between Sri Lanka and Vietnam. Joining the president was Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism Vijay Herath, who is accompanying the delegation throughout the visit. The president is also expected to meet with members of Vietnam's business community. The president is also expected to visit the historic Bai Vinh Pagoda. On the 6th of May, President Anurukumar Dissanayake will attend the opening ceremony of the United Nations Day of Vesak in Ho Chi Minh City, where he will deliver the keynote address as the event's chief guest. During the visit, President Dissanayake will hold official discussions with the President and Prime Minister of Vietnam. Several memoranda of understanding and agreements are expected to be signed during the visit, and discussions will be held with the Vietnamese business community to explore avenues for enhanced cooperation.
President Anurukumar Dissanayake has appointed acting ministers for 4 ministries ahead of his official visit to Vietnam.
Deputy Minister of Digital Economy Eranga Weeraratne has been appointed as Acting Minister of Digital Economy. Deputy Minister of Defence Aruna Jayasekara has been appointed as Acting Minister of Defence. Minister of Labour and Deputy Minister of Economic Development Dr. Anil Jayanta Fernando has been appointed as Acting Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Employment Arun Hemachandra has been appointed as Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism.
Government Election Sri Lanka 2025.
A rally to support the victory of the National People's Power mayoral candidate for Colombo, Rai Kelly Baltasar, was held last night in Borella.
The National People's Power rally was attended by a group that included the Deputy Minister of Public Security and Parliamentary Affairs, Attorney at Law, Sunil Watakala.
Is there anyone who can even challenge the National People's Power? Can Sajith? Can Ranil? There's no one even close. If victory is certain, then winning the municipal council is also certain. History is being rewritten. The municipal council is going to be won. Rai will be sworn in as mayor on the 7th of May. So why are we working so hard? It's not just about winning. it's not about winning at any cost. We need to win better than we did in the previous election. We need to win and show them that we've improved. We need to send a clear message about how the people of this country view the government they elected. Don't we owe that to them?
If you saw what happened in our political arena last week, you'd know that there are no choices left. There's nothing left to consider. This country can be rebuilt. Not just Colombo, but the entire nation. And we can build it the way we envision. There is only one political movement capable of directing this country's economic resources toward real development, and that is a national people's power. No other political party remains. To be honest, none should have remained.
The local government election is, above all, about who will become the mayor of Colombo. The whole program centers around that. That's what history has shown us. Let me ask you this. Do you see any real slogans coming from the other side? No. In everybody's heart, there's only one candidate, Bry from the National People's Power.
They are attempting to build this city with teams they assembled from various places after conducting interviews. That's what they did then, and that's what they're doing now. However, we know that they have been extremely unsuccessful. We know that no matter what they do, at this moment, the only party that can win in the Colombo Municipal Council is the National People's Power. We know that the opposition is struggling. Why? Because they have nothing left to do now. It has become evident to them that Colombo belongs to the National People's Power. They have witnessed how we are moving forward with the trust of these people. Now, all that remains for them is to spread false propaganda. But that kind of politics is no longer valid for them. The National People's Power does not consist of individuals who will perpetuate the politics of their mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers and ancestors. Precisely for this reason, there aren't people in the National People's Power who believe that this politics belongs solely to them. The people in the National People's Power are those who have worked on the ground. The people in the National People's Power are those who have stood with these people. Those on the National People's Power platform are individuals with a sense of self-sacrifice, concern and empathy. Those brothers and sisters in the National People's Power are people who are prepared to go to councils, speak about their issues, intervene and work towards solutions whether they hold power or not. Such are the brothers and sisters in the National People's Power who have worked for so many months. Now that we have power, we can resolve our issues.
A public meeting in support of Dr. Uwais Hanifa, the Colombo mayoral candidate from the Samaki Jana Balawegya, was held last night at Kuskas Junction in Colombo.
The public meeting was attended by the leader of the Samaki Jana Balawegya, Sajid Premadasa, along with other party members.
We lost the presidential election and we lost the parliamentary election, so the government thought they could easily win this one too. Now they are furious because they are about to lose the Colombo Municipal Council at this local government election. The beginning of the end of a government has now begun. 7 months have passed. Has a single project been done in your village in these 7 months? Has a single project been initiated in your city? Nothing has been done for the country either. What will you do if someone deceives you, borrows money and then abandons you? Surely you won't simply let it go, will you? You will teach them a lesson. That is why you must vote for the telephone symbol on the 6th of May. That is the message you need to convey to them. Remember this clearly. There is absolutely no doubt that the Samaki Jana Balawegya will secure victory in the Colombo Municipal Council on the 6th of May. Do not have any doubts.
අපි ජනාධිපතිතුමාට කියනවා ඔයා අර හේන් පැලේ ඉඳගෙන සීපද කියන්න එපා කියලා අපි ජනාධිපතිතුමාට කියනවා සීපද කියනවා වල්ලාලි එලවන්න ඇයි ඒ තනියෙන් ඉඳගෙන කවුරුවත් නැහැ ආණ්ඩුව ගෙනියන්න විදියක්.
He is alone. There is no way for him to run the government. No decisions are being made and the country is not moving forward. So right now, the country under Anura Kumara's leadership is stagnated and not going anywhere. As the majority of the local government bodies across the country are won by the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, we are prepared with responsibility to provide you with the unique and exceptional governance and services that the people of this country rightfully expect. I declare at this moment that we will indeed fulfill that public duty. You entrusted a government with a two-thirds majority in the presidential and parliamentary elections. We respect that public mandate. However, please consider whether those who received that mandate truly respect it. Reflect on this immediately after they secured your support. Sajid Premadasa conveyed the truth to you during the presidential and general election campaigns. You rejected that truth for some reason. As a consequence of that rejection, we have witnessed a shift towards a socialist direction. There is nothing inherently wrong with that. We respect that public mandate, but please consider whether those who garnered the mandate genuinely respect you. Where is the responsibility? Where is the accountability? What has become of your vote?
A public meeting organized by the United National Party for the upcoming local government election was held last night in Gothamipura, Colombo. It was presided over by the UNP's national organizer, Sagala Ratnayaka.
Former Mayor of Colombo, Rosie Senanayaka, and a group of party representatives of the United National Party attended the public meeting.
We need to create a time where we can not only improve the economy and ensure you have money, but also develop the country. Have you even heard them talk about development? I haven't. I don't know if you have. Have you seen them doing any development? I haven't. So I humbly say that this election is more than just an election to develop your village. There should also be a step towards forming a government again under the leadership of Ranil Wickremesinghe. That's why we brought the elephant back into the arena for this election. We need to strengthen the elephant and form a government that brings a good program to this country again.
When 6.9 million people took to the streets and ousted Gotabaya Rajapaksa, we were helpless and our children were desperate. I pray that such a situation never happens again. To prevent such a situation, you must go to the polling station and vote for the elephant. The United National Party is the party that has always sustained the people of this country. The United National Party, led by Ranil Wickremesinghe, sustained you during a crisis in 2022 as a prime example. I urge you to all think about your future, especially the future of our generation, our children. As a mother and grandmother, I believe you will all rise up to protect our children. Vote for the elephant. Help the United National Party win.
If you want to debate with us, come and do it the right way. But we are also ready for any other way. But the residents of this village will cast their vote for the elephant and give power to the UNP and elect Alfred Sampath for the next 5 years. That is the assurance that I will give you. Remember that well.
Chief Secretary of the Frontline Socialist Party, Kumar Gunaratnam, said that the traditional old political parties that ruined the country should not be given another chance. He expressed these views at a public gathering held in Karandinia.
The Frontline Socialist Party has nominated candidates for 159 local government bodies in the upcoming election.
Some say there's a slight upset. The path we're on isn't that good. What was said isn't happening, and even the language has changed. Instead of smiling and very friendly way of speaking to the people, a slightly threatening tone is slowly emerging. But some people ask if we shouldn't give it a little more time. To those who ask that, we say, give it more time. Giving more time is okay. We don't have to suddenly bring back someone, because we can't bring back those of the old corrupt system. We made one decision to defeat the old traditional political parties and not give them any space. But because of the mess they are making, those old parties are now resurfacing here and there. Those who were hiding their heads here and there have started to show their faces because of the mistakes of the current people. There is such a situation on one hand, but we ask the people of this country not to reverse even slightly the decision they made to chase the old parties away. They bankrupted and destroyed this country. They pushed people into poverty. They made the country reach a state where hundreds of thousands of people are leaving. That's how they governed the country for 77 years. But now if those who came to change that are trying to go down the same path, within 5, 6 or 7 months, we need to show them a red light, which means not giving your vote to them this time.
The silent period for the local government election is currently underway. Commissioner General of Elections Sirasa Ratnayaka said that campaigning and promoting candidates contesting the election is prohibited.
All promotional activities for the local government election ended at 12 midnight yesterday. They have also been given time to remove all promotional material at their offices. The police department have been informed to remove these promotional material if they continue to be displayed.
Special facilities have been put in place for people with special needs.
We have informed all returning officers to provide facilities to those with mobility disabilities. We have provided facilities to enable visually impaired people to vote similar to the previous election. We have also provided the usual permission to provide transport from their homes if they are in possession of their relevant medical certificates.
The distribution of polling cards has been completed. Voters who have not yet received their polling cards can collect them from the post office located in their locality. Sub-post offices and post offices will remain open on election day.
Even if you go to a polling station that is not mentioned on your official polling card, you can cast your vote. If you have a valid identity card in your possession, either the old or the new identity card can be used for this.
According to the Commissioner General of Elections, Sirasa Ratnayaka, the following documents will be considered as valid identity cards: a valid passport, a valid driver's license, public service retirement identity card, senior citizens identity card, clergy identity card, letter issued by the Department of Registration of Persons confirming information on the national identity card, temporary identity card issued by the Election Commission to fully disabled people, temporary identity card issued to those who do not have an identity card, and the driver's permit issued by the Department of Motor Traffic. The transportation of ballot boxes to polling centres will commence tomorrow morning. This year's elections will be conducted across 13,759 centres island-wide. Over 70,000 candidates are contesting in the elections, which will determine representation in 339 local government institutions. A total of 17,156,338 citizens are eligible to vote. Here is how preparations were underway for the local government election in several parts of the island. The returning officer for the Colombo district, Ginige Prasanna Janakakumara, said that all preparations are set for voting in the Colombo district.
All preparations for voting in the election of the 13 local government bodies in the Colombo district are complete. The counting of ballots will be done at the premises of Royal College, Colombo. The training for the procedure to enter the data into computer systems is currently underway. The results of the electoral divisions will be issued at the centres itself, while calculations of the votes for the local government bodies will be done here and the results will be released.
These
are the preparations in the Gampaha district.
1.8,096,304 people have qualified to vote to elect 19 local government bodies in the Gampaha district. There are also 40,178 postal voters. 1,252 voting centres have been set up in the Gampaha district.
Assistant District Election Commissioner for the Mathura district said that all preparations for the election in the Mathura district are being carried out.
Preparations have been made to conduct the election at 542 polling stations for the 17 local government bodies in the Mathura district. The counting of ballot papers will be done in the divisions themselves. 222 counting centres have been set up. There are 693,549 registered voters, out of which 26,475 are postal voters. 97% of postal votes have already been cast by now.
Election officials in the Polonnaruwa district have been forced to carry out their duties amidst the threat of wild elephant attacks.
The speciality in the Polonnaruwa district is the fact that there are many areas that face the threat of wild elephant attacks. Since the counting is taking place at the divisional level, we have focused our attention on the security of our officials as well as the general public. We have held discussions with the Department of Wildlife and have deployed 18 teams along with vehicles.
News First with the people.
Organised criminal Antuahandi Sujiva Ruan Kumara de Silva alias Lokupati has been extradited to Sri Lanka by officers of the Criminal Investigation Department.
Organised criminal Lantuahandi Sujiva Ruan Kumara de Silva alias Lokupati was arrested recently by the Belarusian security forces following an Interpol red notice issued against him. A team from the Criminal Investigations Department in Sri Lanka travelled to Belarus to facilitate his return to the island. According to police, Lokupati was previously associated with infamous underworld figures including Koskota Suji and Makhandure Madush before breaking away to lead his own criminal network. He is currently facing multiple legal proceedings in connection with drug trafficking and murder cases in several courts across the country. The police said that Lokupati had aided and abetted in many crimes committed in Sri Lanka while he was in hiding overseas. Lokupati has also been named as the chief suspect in the murder of 2 people, including Club Vasanta, in July last year.
This is the 11th suspect who was brought to Sri Lanka during the past 7 months. We had issued a red notice. We will continue to bring back criminals who are hiding overseas after having committed crimes in Sri Lanka and fleeing the country. We have made preparations to bring to Sri Lanka over 20 suspects who had fled to countries like India, Canada and Dubai. There are suspects who have been involved in a variety of crimes including the possession of drugs and firearms. Legal action will be taken against them in the future.
Lokupati, who was brought back to the island, has been handed over to the custody of the Crime Division, Western Province, South Range for onward legal action.
One person was killed and another was injured in a shooting that occurred at a restaurant in Tambahitia, Mitiagoda last night.
According to police, 4 suspects travelling on 2 motorcycles had opened fire at 2 victims while they were consuming alcohol at a restaurant in Tambahitia area of Mitiagoda. The incident occurred at around 10:30 p.m. last night. 1 person was killed while another sustained injuries. Both victims were admitted to the Balapitia hospital, after which one of them succumbed to his injuries. The deceased has been identified as a 47-year-old resident of Mitiagoda. Police further added that he operated a carpentry shop. Police said that the injured person is also a suspect in a double homicide that took place in 2015 following a personal dispute. 2 T-56 firearms were used for the shooting.
Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif has warned that his country will target any structure built by India on the Indus River if it violates the Indus Waters Treaty, which New Delhi recently suspended following the April 22nd terror attack in Pahalgam. The nuclear-armed neighbours have since engaged in a series of tit-for-tat actions, with India implicitly blaming Pakistan for the attack, an allegation that Islamabad has firmly denied.
to foreign media, Pakistan's Defence Minister Khwaja Asif said, and I quote, "If they attempt to build any kind of structure, we will strike it," end quote. Asif said that building any structure on the Indus River would be seen as Indian aggression against Pakistan. He added, and I quote, "Aggression is not just about firing cannons or bullets. It has many faces. One of those faces is blocking or diverting water, which could lead to deaths due to hunger and thirst," end quote. The defence minister said, and I quote again, "If they make any architectural attempt, then Pakistan will destroy that structure," end quote. Separately, Pakistan yesterday conducted a training launch of the Abdali weapon system, a surface-to-surface missile with a range of 450 kilometers. There was no immediate comment about the launch from India, which blames Pakistan for the April 22nd gun massacre in the resort town of Pahalgam, a charge Pakistan denies. Pakistan's military said the launch of the Abdali weapon system was aimed at ensuring the operational readiness of troops and validating key technical parameters, including the missile's advanced navigation system and enhanced maneuverability features. Speaking in an interview with Russian broadcaster RT yesterday, Muhammad Khalid Jamali, Pakistan's top diplomat in Moscow, said Islamabad has credible intelligence suggesting that India is planning military strikes on Pakistani territory.
The frenzy media of India and the irresponsible statements coming out from that side has compelled us, and there are some other leaked documents whereby it has been decided to strike certain areas of Pakistan. So that makes us to feel that this is going to happen and it's imminent. And as I said, knowing Pakistani nation, the armed forces of Pakistan, supported by people of Pakistan, we are going to respond this time and respond with full spectrum of power. You know, we have very constructively engaged at the UN Security Council, and we have condemned this act of terrorism with fullest possible condemnation. So, and our Prime Minister, he's open to open, neutral, and credible investigations.
The comments represent one of the most explicit threats of nuclear retaliation made by a senior Pakistani official against India in recent years. Meanwhile, Air Chief Marshal Amarpreet Singh met with Prime Minister Narendra Modi today amid escalating tensions with Pakistan. Prime Minister Modi has been meeting the chiefs of the tri-forces to take stock of India's possible military action against Pakistan in response to the April 22nd Pahalgam attack. Last week, Modi also held an important meeting with Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval, Chief of Defence Staff General Anil Chauhan and other armed forces chiefs. The Border Security Force has taken into custody a Pakistani ranger from along the international border in Rajasthan yesterday. The development follows the detention of BSF Constable Purnam Kumar Sahu by the Pakistan Rangers. Sahu was apprehended on the April 23rd after he inadvertently crossed the international border while escorting farmers along the Firozpur sector in Punjab. The apprehended Pakistani ranger, whose identity is yet to be disclosed, is currently in the custody of the BSF's Rajasthan frontier. Hours after the ranger's detention, Pakistani army posts opened unprovoked small arms fire along the line of control in multiple sectors for the 10th consecutive day on the intervening night of the 3rd to the 4th May. According to military sources, Indian Army units responded promptly and in proportion. This marked the most widespread ceasefire violation in recent days, with the maximum number of Pakistani posts participating simultaneously. No deaths have been reported so far.
Flights resumed at Israel's Ben Gurion Airport near Tel Aviv after a failed interception of a missile from Yemen today forced it to halt operations temporarily. Israel's military said the missile landed in the airport's vicinity after several attempts at intercepting it failed, adding that the results of the interception are currently under review.
A ballistic missile launched from Yemen impacted near Israel's Ben Gurion International Airport this morning, injuring several people and disrupting takeoffs and arrivals. The launch triggered air raid sirens across central Israel, including in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem and Shafela regions. The projectile reportedly landed near Terminal 3, causing panic and disruption at Israel's main international gateway. According to the Israel Defense Forces, several attempts were made to intercept the missile. The attack prompted the airport to briefly suspend flights. Trains to and from the airport were also halted, and police asked the public to refrain from arriving in the area. The Iran-backed Houthi rebel group in Yemen has repeatedly launched ballistic missiles at Israel, but this appears to be the first time one has landed near the country's main international airport, a major breach of security at a tightly protected site. Today's strike marks the third consecutive day of missile launches from Yemen towards Israel.
Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese declared victory on Saturday as its centre-left Labour Party scored a landslide in the country's federal election, a triumph apparently driven in part by voter distaste for US President Donald Trump. He defeated opposition leader Peter Dutton of the centre-right Liberal National Coalition. Dutton had also lost his seat in Dickson, Queensland, one he had held for 24 years.
Please welcome my dear friend, our Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese.
Anthony Albanese has led the Australian Labor Party to a decisive victory in the 2025 federal election, securing a second consecutive term as Prime Minister. This marks the first time in 21 years that a government has been re-elected with an increased majority. In his victory speech, left-leaning Albanese pledged to steer the nation through a rough patch of global uncertainty.
Today, the Australian people have voted for Australian values. For fairness, aspiration and opportunity for all. For the strength to show courage in adversity and kindness to those in need. And Australians have voted for a future that holds true to these values, a future built on everything that brings us together as Australians and everything that sets our nation apart from the world. In this time of global uncertainty, Australians have chosen optimism and determination. Australians have chosen to face global challenges the Australian way, looking after each other while building for the future. And to serve these values, meet these challenges, seize these opportunities and build that better and stronger future, Australians have chosen a majority Labor government. Now that the Australian people have made their clear choice, let us all reflect on what we have in common, because no matter who you voted for, no matter where you live, no matter how you worship or who you love, whether you belong to a culture that has known and cared for this great continent for 65,000 years, or you have chosen our nation as your home and enriched our society with your contribution, we are all Australians. So let all of us work together to build our national unity on the enduring foundations of fairness, equality and respect for one another.
Among the gains for Labour was opposition leader Peter Dutton's seat of Dickson in Queensland. It is the first time an opposition leader has lost their seat in a federal election, with Dutton losing to Labour's Ali France. Some Liberal Party members have called for a serious review, with one advisor summing up the loss as a failure of what they called the Dutton experiment. Dutton has also become the first federal opposition leader to ever lose their own seat at the same time as losing an election, which means he has been ousted from Parliament. According to foreign media reports, Albanese's defeat of Dutton mirrors the outcome of Canada's federal election last week, where the once struggling left-leaning Liberal Party soared to victory thanks to a Trump-inspired popularity boost. While Australia has not faced the same affront to its sovereignty as Canada, the similar election results show Trump's influence in the domestic politics of longtime US allies. Albanese will start his second term with at least 85 seats in the 150-seat lower house, a significant majority in Australia, while the Liberal coalition currently holds just 37. The country has had 6 different prime ministers in the last 18 years, most of whom lasted about 3 years in office, in line with the frequency of Australian elections. But a commanding win and healthy majority set Albanese up for another 3 years or even more.
Singapore's People's Action Party won its 14th successive election to extend its unbroken 6-decade rule, delivering a strong mandate to its new Prime Minister.
We are grateful once again for your strong mandate.
Singapore's ruling People's Action Party has won by a landslide in an election dominated by concerns over the cost of living and the country's future economic stability. Led by Prime Minister Lawrence Wong in his first election since he became party leader last year, the PAP clinched 65.6% of the vote and an overwhelming majority of the 97 seats in Parliament. The main opposition, the centre-left Workers' Party, failed to capture more seats but continued to hold on to its 10 seats in Parliament. The centre-right People's Action Party has governed Singapore continuously since 1959, making it one of the longest ruling political parties in the world.
And people listen to us. And also because they don't like that wasteful, corrupt political culture. So the smoothest transition ever, I think any country could learn a lesson, you know.
Just the fact that you're a woman is not sufficient. You need to have a good backbone. You need to be sure of who you are. And you need to have the strength to speak up.
After the Aragar era, we are led to believe that there are a lot of young people who are interested in politics, in governance, in system change and all of that.
Thousands of people who are involved. It's very polarizing. So we have to seek certain reconciliation also in the society when we talk about this. We shouldn't always be polarizing. We shouldn't always be, leveraging it politically.
Face to Face, Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m.
After weeks of excitement and auditions across Sri Lanka, the final day for Shakti Crown Season 2 took place today at Stein Studios in Ratmalana.
Shakti Crown.
The auditions for Shakti Crown Season 2, which started weeks ago, brought together some of the best voices from across Sri Lanka. Today's auditions featured singers of all ages, each hoping to make their dreams come true.
திருமணமலர்கள் தருவாயா தோட்டத்தில் நான் வைத்த பூச்செடி அமர்ந்த பேசும் மரங்களின் நிழலும் நமது கதை காலமும் சொல்லும் உதிர்ந்து போன மலரின் வாசமா
முதல் முதலாக பரவசமாக வா 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 அன்பே.
Shakti Crown Season 2 is more than just a show. It's a chance to discover and celebrate new voices that could be Sri Lanka's next big star. With auditions now finished, the competition moves to the next exciting phase.
Shakti Crown.
On to sports news now. Sri Lanka women pulled off a historic win against the Indian women's team, securing a 3-wicket victory in a closely contested one-day international match of the ongoing Tri-Series in Colombo.
The Women's Tri-Series between Sri Lanka and India got underway at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. India women posted a total of 275 for 9 in their allotted 50 overs. In reply, Sri Lanka women successfully chased down the target, reaching 278 for 7 in 49 overs. Harshita Samaravikrama anchored the innings with a composed knock of 53, while Nilakshika Silva contributed a valuable 56 runs.
හිසට ඉහළින් පන්දු ඈදී යනවා ඒ සමගින් අති විශිෂ්ට ජයග්‍රහණයක් ලබා ගන්නවා ප්‍රබල ඉන්දියා කණ්ඩායම පරාජයට පත් කරමින්.
This is Sri Lanka's first ODI win against India since 2018. Sri Lanka, India and South Africa are the participating teams in this tri-series.
On to some rugby news now. The New Zealand under 85 kg rugby team defeated the Sri Lankan Tuskers today at the Nithawala Stadium in Kandy.
The first game between the Sri Lanka Tuskers and the New Zealand under 85 kg rugby team kicked off today at the Nithawala Stadium in Kandy. New Zealand under 85 rugby team defeated the Sri Lanka Tuskers 50-10. The New Zealand under 85 kg team scored 8 tries and made 5 conversions. Sri Lanka only managed to score 1 try, a conversion and a penalty. The second game between the two sides will be worked out at the racecourse Colombo on the 10th of May. This is the first meeting between the two teams in Sri Lanka, despite the long-standing rugby ties between the two nations.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Good night.